A few years ago, God placed in our heart the desire to move to this piece of land that you can see behind us. Why do we need to move to this piece of land? Because where we're at right now, New Life Baptist Church, there's not enough space. And if we want to continue with our vision to reach out in missions throughout this whole region of the world and also to influence society here in El Salvador, we needed to move to this place. During the next few minutes, I want you to open your heart, open your eyes to the vision that God has given us for this piece of land to be able to not only impact this country, El Salvador, but the whole region of Metro America 020. Okay, here we are at the piece of land. Now the piece of land is about 6 acres, and as you can see behind me, it has one of the most incredible views of the whole city of San Salvador. I've often said that as we look at San Salvador, every day we come up here, we can see how huge our mission field is to reach the people here. Because of course, we're not here for the view. We're here to build the installations, the facilities, to be more effective in reaching San Salvador, El Salvador, and reaching out to the whole zone of Metro America 020. Now here to my left, down here at the bottom, we're going to build an orphanage. And the way we're going to do the orphanage is have 3 different homes with a house father and a house mother. And at first we're going to have 8 children in each home. The idea is that our church is going to take care of these orphans so that they can know the Lord Jesus Christ and that they can grow up in the atmosphere of a true home. Of course, we're not only going to have the 3 homes here, we're going to have a facility in the entrance for the administrator of the project, for a counselor, for a social worker, and for everybody that needs to be there to take care of these orphans. We'll even have a clinic here for the doctor also. Then over to my right, over in this area here, we're going to use this area over here for our parking lot. Now we're going to have 2 phases. So in the first phase, we're going to have a parking lot for about 100 vehicles, which is what we need to be able to take care of all the people who will be coming to the church. In the future, way in the future, 5 years, 6 years, we're going to have to build a structure that has 3 different levels so that 300 cars can park over here to the right. Now here behind us, we're going to put our temporary worship center. And the temporary worship center is actually going to be a steel structure that is going to be shipped from the United States, and it's going to fit about 450 to 500 people. And I call it a temporary worship center because when we first move here, of course, we'll start with 2 services and we'll meet in that building. But long term, it will be converted into educational space for our Christian school. We have a New Life Christian School, which is a bilingual Christian school. Also, it'll be used for the seminary and for Sunday school on Sundays and Friday nights for Awana. And then next to that building, we'll have our temporary educational facilities. So that when we first move to this piece of land, we'll meet in the temporary worship center for worship, but then in this building next to it, which is another steel building, which will be 2 stories, have about 16 classrooms. We'll be able to use it for our seminary, for our Christian school, and for Sunday school and Awana on Friday nights. And so then long term, those 2 buildings will come together and be our educational complex when we do our final phase. Now, over here, there's going to be a smaller building also. And of course, that smaller building over here next to the park, we have to have a park for our school, but also the park will serve for people to come here to bring their friends and share the gospel with them. They'll probably want to bring friends here to see the view, and then they can share the gospel with them. We're going to have a cafeteria there, and it'll be an evangelistic outreach. But next to it, we'll have our administrative and pastoral and ministerial offices and facilities. And so that's what that small building will be. And of course, the final part of this whole project here is up here behind. There's a huge piece of land there. And what we're going to do with that is build our final worship center. And what we're going to do is take advantage of the contour here of the land. And it's going to be a stadium type seating, and it'll fit 1,500 people. We've already drawn up all the plans for all of these projects. But for all of these projects and all of these drawings to come true, of course, we need for God to supply the money so that we can do it. And even before we can go to the first step of the temporary worship center, the temporary Sunday school, and the administrative offices, we have the hugest part of this whole challenge, which is the bridge. The bridge is over here in this ditch. Okay, here we are at the bottom of the ditch that's between the piece of land where we're going to be building all of our facilities and the access road. And as you can see, this is a huge ditch that's right here in the middle. What have we done so far? Okay, look to our right, to my right and my left, you see two huge buttresses or bases. And it's incredible what the engineers have done so far here. Each one of these structures weighs 500 tons and it's made of pure rock. It's about 30 feet tall, 30 feet wide, and it goes into the ground 22 feet. And what we're going to do and what we need to do to be able to move from the access road over to the piece of land is we need to place a bridge that's already been shipped from Birmingham, Alabama. It's a bridge 40 feet long and it's a metal structure. And actually, this is an incredible thing. The Air Force has said that they would help us with a helicopter to be able to take it from our piece of land and place it on top of this structure here. But of course, we still need to pray that God will provide the finances so that we can finish this last step of faith. And so after you've seen this whole project, I would just ask you to pray about how maybe you could be a part of this project so that we could move from our current installations to the new installations to better impact El Salvador and to be able to reach out to Metro America 020.